Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Hike. And today, my guest is a crypto educator driving mass adoption for the last 9 years. Wayne, tell me who you are and what you do.
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, so that's at its core. I'm an educator and coach. I love helping people advance. And so 9 years ago, went down the rabbit hole of Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, and blockchain. And so I've podcasted for the last 8 years about crypto education, built courses for companies. And now I work in a company, FIO, where we drive user adoption through simple user interfaces, make it easy for people to use crypto. Also, still at my roots, I still do some coaching and consulting on the side, and also an apparel business where we're onboarding people to crypto through luxury apparel purchases. So everything ties in back to that education background.
Okay, let's break it down. How did you even enter the crypto world?
So I've always been interested in tech, and I ignored Bitcoin, let's say from about 2013 to 2016. And then I finally had a friend actually tell me one day when I was complaining about a bad stock investment, and he said, "You need to stop ignoring Bitcoin." And then I went down the rabbit hole and I realized, how can this thing have value? And so I studied our financial systems here. I'm in the US. So I studied the Federal Reserve, the banking system, and realized really quickly, holy crap, we've got a problem here with our money. And and that's when I guess you could say the orange pill took effect with Bitcoin. And then I realized Bitcoin is amazing, it's great, but it doesn't do everything. It fixes the money problem, but there's so many other problems. And that's when I fell in love with this technology, and I realized it was too complicated for people. Um, and so that was my entrance. I kind of jumped in hard, and I was like, okay, the best way to learn about it is to be forced to talk about it. And so that's when I started podcasting. Um, and that just led to so many things, meeting new people, then holding conferences in the industry in Miami. And then from there, one of the sponsors I now have been helping run that company for the past 4 years.
So you started from enlightening people on the topic of crypto, and then you basically joined FIO, right? FIO?
Yeah, we answer to both. It's an acronym. It actually stands for Foundation for Interwallet Operability. So it's an acronym. So
Oh,
some people say FIO, FIO. Some people say FIO. We answer to all of that. So yeah.
tell me more about FIO.
Yeah, so FIO is a usability protocol. We get integrated into wallets and exchanges, and the whole point is to hide some of the complexities of sending crypto. And it's very much similar to, you think about 35 years ago, if you were using the internet, you had to type in an IP address to navigate to a website. There was no www dot whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then someone invented that protocol that hides that. We still go to an IP address, but nobody sees that. They just see a website address. And so we do the same thing, because you think about public blockchain addresses. Every blockchain has a different public address. So if you have one wallet, you have a Bitcoin address, a Solana address, an Ethereum address, and so on and so forth. And these are long strings of letters and numbers. At the current state, you have to copy and paste that to send. And there's errors that can happen. I just did it yesterday with something different. I was copy pasting and I forgot to pick up that first letter, right? So there's always room for error, and you send the wrong address in crypto, it's gone. And so we allow the user to link all those different wallet addresses to a single user, what we call a FIO handle, which is a username. And so our protocol gets integrated into wallets and exchanges and social platforms. And most recently, now we're being integrated into a complete Web3 AI platform, where the agents are going to have handles, the nodes are going to have handles, and the users are going to have handles. So it's going to be, hide the complexities from the user. And we also created a protocol where you can create payment requests that way, to where very much similar, like what we refer to as like a Venmo or PayPal type experience, but for any cryptocurrency. And the whole point is, not enough people are using crypto. Everybody says they're in crypto now because they may hold some Bitcoin on Coinbase or Binance, but they're not really using it. And that's a big part of the friction, is sending and receiving.
Talking about friction, I do understand that you're on the path of scaling FIO and like onboarding new partners and stuff. And I'm really interested in the friction that you face.
So we've been around for 5 years. We've integrated into over 100 different partners. A crazy thing, in this industry, it's constantly evolving and changing. So some of those partners that we had that were great years ago are no longer around. For instance, 4 years ago, Opera was our number one partner, the Opera browser, and now they're completely eliminating all of their Web3 tools and just going back to being a web browser. So it's constantly evolving, and that's the biggest friction is priority. But when you get the right person, they see what we do, um, you get that done. You get the ability for them to integrate. So that's the biggest part of the friction. Our protocol is best used in a wallet that's integrated our protocol. So we do have a tool, a FIO app page on our website to where someone can go in and register a handle and link it to wallets that maybe don't support our protocol yet. And that's great, but the best user experience is always natively integrated into that wallet, like Edge Wallet and Trust Wallet and others.
If we talk about the achievements, what would be the top one, in your opinion, in the last 5 years?
Well, I definitely say top one is surviving 5 years in the crypto industry. But outside of that, it's really So we just hit 2.2 million user handles registered on chain. So that's 2.2 million users. Now, some people have redundant, some people have one or two, but that's a pretty big number in the cryptocurrency space. And so that I'd say would be our biggest one, just because it's all about user adoption, and so those numbers are important to us.
When we talk about interoperability in systems like this, I'm always curious about the competitive landscape, because like different companies can have the idea of providing that interoperability, and ideally it would be a consensus between all of them that, okay, this protocol handles that part of the whole web3. So tell me more about that
Yeah.
side of things.
You would think that, right? And that was kind of our focus, was like, we've got a standard that others can use too. And even if there's competitors, we wanted to work with them and still want to work with them to where there's some kind of cross resolution. But in a competitive landscape, I'd say we're the best, right? Obviously, I would, right? I work with you, but kind of to explain that, what's out there now, you'll have individual blockchains that'll create their own naming service that works specifically for their blockchain. But we know users are using wallets that have multi-chain capability, right? It supports multiple different blockchain assets. And so we are the only protocol that I know of that meets both of these requirements. We're interoperable with all chains. In other words, any blockchain network out there, our protocol works with, because we were built with the expansion in mind. So when a new chain comes up, we don't necessarily have to add support for it, right? So we're interoperable with all chains. And then the second thing, that the and part is, we are governed, the protocol is governed by its own blockchain, a layer one blockchain, which what that means is it's self sovereign. Like, there's not one smart contract owner that can revoke privileges of a handle. So just like you own your Bitcoin and nobody can revoke it, or you own your Ethereum or Solana or whatever, you own your FIO handle and any
Mhm.
domains you purchase. The domain is the ending part of the handle. So if you go into Edge Wallet, you can get your username at Edge. At Edge is a domain that's public for anybody to use within the Edge wallet. Or if you want your company name, you can get that as well. And so those parts are self-sovereign. And that's a big thing, because I'm not going to name the competitor here, but over the years, I've tried out many projects. And even before coming to FIO, I registered multiple domains. The most popular naming system people know is ENS. So I registered that one. And there was one other one that was really popular right around the same time we started. And I registered some domains there. And one day I woke up and one of the domains I registered was gone from my wallet, with an email from the company that said that they had a cease and desist because they weren't supposed to be selling that domain ending, and it was like a .coin, and it was just gone and replaced by, here's a credit for a new domain. Now, that doesn't seem like self-sovereign ownership. It's definitely something that can be stopped. So I just say that
Mhm.
without calling out the company, because they do. Everybody's building great tools, and they're trying to solve the usability problem. But I think in this space, we need to collaborate and work together, because there's another competitor that I met with recently, and our whole idea was, so let's focus on cross resolution. We're in wallets that they're not, they're in wallets that we're not. So let's focus on working together, because people are going to use their favorites. You're going to have, people that love Ethereum that are going to always be a .eth handle, right?
Mhm.
And then you have others that want to customize it and have maybe, um, their own custom ending as well too.
Interesting. From what I understand, FIO is probably the biggest on the market, solving the problem that you described.
I would say we're We're probably the biggest one that people don't know about because we operate in the background in a lot of wallets and
Yeah.
exchanges. I would say we're also probably the biggest in terms of people actually using it. Even the ENS domains I bought many years ago, they're all speculative. They're nobody
Hmm.
like most people aren't really using them. They're just holding them with the potential that they could resell them later. Like somebody is holding Apple.eth or Apple.crypto and hoping that one day they can sell that. They're not using it. And so when I say I'm a mass adoption maximalist, you have to be using it, right? You can't just be
Yeah,
holding it.
sure.
And that's kind of our focus on that.
I mean, the best tech is the one that works like magic to the user, right?
It's funny you say that because that's exactly what we've been talking about lately, and you leveraging that whole wizard concept.
And I mean, you've pretty much accomplished it at this point, from what I can see.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got a long way to go. I mean, there are so many wallets, so many exchanges. We're going to continue to push. One wallet that was, worked with us a little bit. They have one piece of our protocol that they integrated several years ago, very privacy focused. And of course, they thought handles may be a kind of an invasion of privacy. But
Hmm.
after a few years of them looking at our protocol and seeing how it operates, now we're ready to move forward. So
Hmm.
um, that's kind of it. It takes people a while to get used to Bitcoin and crypto and understand it and start actually using it. And it even takes companies a while to start getting used to protocols that are out there.
Hmm.
And that's the hardest part in this industry is if you're building something like that in the beginning, you have no history or no credibility really, right? You're kind of hoping you'll find some believers. And then from those believers, you build user adoption in there. And then that lends to the credibility when other projects are looking at, okay, what should I do next?
Is there something specific, like any sort of a KPI that you can tell me about, like any sort of accomplishment that you're looking towards, that you're trying to achieve?
Yeah, so my main KPIs are user growth and also partner growth, right? So the handles, I'm trying to consistently hit 50 to 60,000 handle registrations a month. We hit it sometimes we miss it. So it's getting that to be more consistent. And then on the partner side is we've got to grow our ecosystem. People are using tools out there all the time. And so we want to be there where people can use them.
Hmm.
So focusing on getting at least one big partner integration at least per month is big for us right now. But it's very much just like when like for us, like when the market's really hot, all our friends and family that didn't listen to us in the past are coming and wanting to learn more about crypto. I
Hmm.
find it's the same thing for companies when the market's hot, these other companies that maybe didn't show interest or maybe were kind of pushed us off, like come back and see us later. We got a long roadmap, come to us and want to integrate. So things are always better when the market picks up. So right now it's just focusing on that consistent growth and to drive education too. A lot of our content we put out is educational as well because we realize it's not just about FIO, it's about the whole experience and the
Hmm.
whole use for this. Um, and just emerging tech in general is what I tell people. Emerging tech, I consider as, crypto Web3 blockchain, kind of lump that all together, and AI. And I think there's some intersection there between the two because each one needs the other.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, they're interconnected, definitely. And but I want to go back a little to the number that you mentioned, like 50
Yeah.
to 60K a month.
Yeah.
And I want to know a little more in terms of what it means to get handle registrations
Yeah.
like that in a month, like what the process looks like. I'm a user. I
Yeah.
haven't used the protocol. Like, tell me more.
Yeah, so it's a mix. I mean, some people will go to our FIO app and register a handle there and then link it to a wallet or exchange that they may use. But the best user experience I mentioned is like, say, through Edge Wallet. So, say today you went and you set up an Edge Wallet. During the setup process, they're going to have you register your username at Edge. The next step is every public chain address that that wallet supports. You can go in and link those to your wallet handle. So then, whenever you send and receive within Edge, you're using usernames instead of these long public wallet addresses. So it's easy, it's simple, it stops you from making the mistakes of sending the wrong address, sending on the wrong chain, but it's also convenient. Like my kids each have wallets, and if I'm saving crypto for them and I want to send Bitcoin this week to their wallet address, I don't have to look up what my daughter's Bitcoin address is. I just type in
Hmm.
her name and send it. And so it's very convenient, whether it's that or I use it for partners that I work with in terms of vendors. So one of the guys that does some of our marketing content for us, he sends me a payment request through FIO in our Edge wallet. I see the request, I hit approve, and it automatically sends the funds to him. I don't have to type anything in. I just approve the request that he sent me. And so the whole point is just to show users that this can be a lot easier. A lot of times I call it hide the wires. Right? You think about when you're
Yeah, yeah,
installing
yeah, yeah.
something electronic, you hide the wires so people don't see it. And the wires are the complexity in crypto, and that's what we need to hide. The beauty is anybody can register a handle, and any partner, any product can use our API integration and integrate that within like 30 minutes or so. What takes a little bit longer to integrate for partners is the ability in that wallet or exchange to register a handle and then link it to those wallet addresses because they have to build a user interface around it. Like we provide the backend infrastructure. This is where I find it hard for the fact that exchanges have been slow to integrate, like a lot slower than wallets. Because how much time do you think their customer support teams spend with users that are complaining because they sent their crypto to wrong deposit address? The user made the mistake, and there's room depending on how the user made the mistake. There's sometimes nothing the exchange can do. So that's why you hear people say, "Oh, crypto.com scammed me out of my crypto," or "Coinbase scammed me out of my crypto."
Yeah.
They didn't get scammed. They just didn't use the product right. And why not give them the ability to fix that without the user being able to even make a mistake?
I'm surprised that the exchanges take so long to set this up.
Yeah, it's usually just either not a priority or an exchange will want a ton of money to integrate. And trying to explain to them like we're a nonprofit entity actually, like we focus on user adoption, and the majority of the revenue that's generated from our chain is actually split between our ecosystem, including our partners. Like Trust Wallet being one of our top partners, they earn the most money every month for using our protocol. So it's just trying to get someone to catch the vision. But I think the model right now is broken. I think a lot of exchanges are just focusing on listing and listing. Even the ones that say they have no listing fees, they charge like 50 grand in marketing, right? So it's like that's the user. When you talk about KPIs earlier, I think the KPIs are wrong, and the KPIs are focused on money and trading volume, and it should be focused on user adoption and
Hmm.
what can make that process simpler. So it's when I connect with the right person that understands that at a project, whether it's a wallet exchange or some other company that could use our protocol, then I mean it flies right through. Just like the AI partnership I mentioned earlier. I
Hmm.
mean that was literally 2 calls. I caught the vision of what that company was doing, and they have true utility in the way they're launching, and they realize what we did, and so now they're integrating and saying they should be done in the next couple of weeks. So when you meet someone like that, it goes pretty quickly, and it's just about getting that message out to the right people.
And what about the fee structure? Like you mentioned that the exchanges want some money for the integration. I wonder what fees are we talking about on FIO's side?
There's no fees for anyone to integrate our protocol. That's free. We're open source. We've even had a couple of partners that have integrated our protocol without us even knowing it, and then reach us
Mhm.
to us after the fact and say, "Hey, can you help us market? We've got your protocol integrated." So those are the
Nice.
ones I love. But fee structure for the user, a handle to register a handle is a one-time fee of roughly $1 on chain. So that's nothing, right? The domain, if someone wants to get their own ending, they don't have to, but if they get a domain, it's roughly around $40 a year. And those have to have an annual renewal just because we didn't want that speculation case where someone registers a domain just to try to sell it in 5 years and nobody's using it. We want people to use it.
Then I completely can't understand why exchanges don't want like to speed up the process because it's not like you're
Well,
making tons of money from this as well.
yeah. Well, I got to give it to the one exchange that actually told me, look, this is not our focus and probably most changes focus. He wasn't saying that to be rude. I get it, right? What's your biggest threat to business? It's a little bit hard for users to use your platform, or a government shuts you down from you being able to do business with that country. And so there should be some regulatory clarity. And when there's that, I think we're going to see adoption speed up as well. So it's not really as much as I don't like it. I don't blame the exchanges for being that way because I have to put myself in their shoes.
Hmm. Hmm. I can see now where they're coming from.
Yeah.
The next goal is greater user adoption, right? 50
Yeah.
to 60 a month and a certain number of partners to the protocol. And who is it that you would like to connect with to achieve that?
I mean, Binance funded us, right? And so Binance has been very supportive of us, but we're not, and we're integrated in a Trust wallet, which is tied to Binance, but our protocol is not in the Binance exchange. So I'm
Hmm.
already connected with them, talking through that could be a process, but other exchanges, still trying to connect to the right person. I've talked to a few, would be like Kraken and Bybit. When you look at wallets, I'm already talking to Tangem. They're one of my favorite cold storage wallets out there. Exodus Wallet, Phantom, Rabby Wallet, and these others. I mean, there's always these new wallets that are coming up, and crypto can be a small world in terms of, I can easily connect to someone at each one of these companies, but finding the right person that catches the vision, like, yes, this is something we need to do. This solves the user interface problem, at least with sending and receiving. That's kind of who I'm looking for. So even if someone's listening to this and they maybe know of a social, like a Web3 social media platform or music platform, anywhere that has users connect the wallet to log in, what does it show? It either shows that long wallet address
Hmm.
or it just shows a username that only works on that platform. Why not have it mirror your wallet address to
Hmm.
where your username in that social platform is also your wallet address for any chain?
Hmm. I see. I actually love the product. Erasing the need to copy and paste wallet addresses all the time and
Yeah,
the fear of screwing it up,
yeah,
sending it to somebody somewhere that you won't find ever. Uh, it sounds really nice. And I wish you all the best in achieving that. But I have one thing that I want to know,
sure.
and which is the single piece of insight that you got throughout all of the years of your experience.
So the biggest thing is no matter what you do, you need people. Building connection, learning how to talk to people, and always look for ways to connect with people, add value. And add value could be a tip, an insight, a referral, right? A referral, even when you don't expect anything in return. And I think more people need to act that way. But I just find that when you do that, you are going to receive that. So connect always. So two things: always be expanding your network, connecting with people, adding value, and number two is always be learning. Right? We're
Mhm,
not done learning when we get done with school. This whole life is an education process. So
mhm.
I would say that's two big things that I like to point out to people. Never stop learning, never stop connecting.
Amazing. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing the vision of FIO and giving me a glimpse into your background as well. We will drop links from Wayne in the description of the video, and I'll see you in the next episode.
Thanks so much, Hank.
Thank you.